Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with...
Micah.
Alright, tell us what you're going to be playing today.
Okay, so what I basically built was a mix of Cyber Dragon, Therion, kind of going working around the new meta and everything like that with Spite and with Sword Soul and everything like that. I decided, you know what, maybe perfect time to come back into Yu-Gi-Oh and try something new. So I decided to throw like a little Therion core into my Cyber Dragon, like the staples that I have. And so what we have here is, you start off with, your 3 Cyber Dragons, the main boss monster of the deck. Then 3 core, which basically starts...
Ah, yes, the starter.
Yes, basically the starter. I like to think Cyber Dragon's the mascot. Core is really the backbone of everything. Basically searches up all your spells and traps that can help with like breaking boards or maybe searching for the next engine. Next, this is a little controversial that some Cyber Dragons that we like to disagree upon. I play 2 Nasters.
Why 2 Naster?
2 Nasters, honestly, because I feel like 3 bricks a little bit, personally, and just because, like, I already have so many search engines within the deck that, honestly, 2 Nasters does it perfectly within me, and honestly, like, I don't want to see 3 because I feel like it's just a brick. Personally.
Okay, because usually I see people run either 1 or 3, never 2.
I don't ever have a problem with Naster. However, like just personally, I just run 2, and then another one that's kind of controversial is hers. I run 2 hers. 2 hers, in my opinion, is just perfect for what I'm trying to see, what I'm trying to get to. And honestly, I kind of deal with more of not trying to get hers out as much, but when I see it, I'm very happy because then I can just like pitch it off of like Naster, and then I can activate an effective special summon or define the Cyber Dragon that I need. And then I can go and then special summon hers with Naster's effect, which makes it a level 5 or all level 5s in the field.
Alright. I think 2 is actually a good number in my opinion.
Honestly,
well.
I think too. Then we kind of get into another little package I like to call, and that's the Cyber Dark Chimera. Just recently, I kind of put this into the deck.
Yeah.
Just because Cyber Dragon's OTK. Swarm with 1 because with the spell that you can search off of core, which is a lot of people don't know, is it's got Cyber in the name of it with Cyber Dark Realm. But Cyber,
it does.
Since it does, it can be searched off of core, and then you can play Cyber Dark Realm. And what it does is I can search for Chimera, and what it basically does is if I have a Cyber Dark in my deck, I can add it to hand, and then I can immediately normal summon it, and then activate its effect, search for the spell, and then immediately go into Power Bomb.
Oh wow! Okay,
it's really good, honestly.
Because that's like one of the newer cards that came out of the structure deck, right?
You're exactly right. It did, and honestly, it kind of boosts the OT, like how good of an OTK deck it is. And so, like honestly, I enjoy it. I think it's great. If you're looking for, you're trying to get to the opponent's life points down as fast as you can, I'd try to play that if you can.
All right.
Okay. Then here, you see a lot of this 2 Galaxy Soldiers.
Of course.
Some people play 3. Honestly, I try and play 2 because of how many times I used to play with 3. It would just be kind of bricky, honestly.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I kind of need this to be cut down. I don't want to do 1. 1 is just way too risky.
Not to mention, it's searchable in this
deck. It's searchable, exactly. With Cyber Repair Plant, you can basically add this off of activating Cyber Repair Plant, and add it to hand if you got another light in hand, pitch that, got Cyber Dragon on the field, and basically go into Nova into Infinity.
I gotcha.
Which is good. And then next 2, I got added on to these about like last year. These are the Kaijus.
And you said there's 2 copies of this?
There's 2 copies. I run 2 copies just because of how situational it is. Honestly, you could probably take 1, put it on the side, and if you really wanted to, you could put like a Call by the Grave in to like kind of replace this.
Yeah.
But this helps out a lot with me because I'm running into a lot of players that have negates on board that will stop me from searching cards, that will get to my Cyber Dragons. And honestly, I'm kind of like, let's not do that. I'm going to go on ahead and summon this on your side of the field, normal summon a Cyber Dragon, and then obviously the most main play is in the extra is going into Chimera Tech.
Oh yeah, because that takes just a Cyber Dragon and any machine monster.
Any machine. So like, so I've have played against what is it called? It's Sky Fortress or Sky Striker. I'm sorry, and they literally all machines, and I'm like, okay, summon that, and they don't have like an out or anything like that, and I just make the biggest Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon with that card, which is a starter, which is great. And then we kind of get into other monsters, but are kind of necessities in this format. Ash Blossom, which honestly,
yes, the 3 Ash.
3 Ashes helps out a lot. Especially when we have a lot of searching in this format and everything like that, and trying to cut that off, or special summoning, everything like that, and just kind of try to ignore that. I've honestly thought about replacing Ash and trying to get Effect Villain instead, but honestly, they're both like interchangeable. Honestly,
yeah, I feel like Effect Valor might be better this format actually, because the fact of it's just a blatant monster negate, and honestly, most of the decks right now can actually play around Ash.
Honestly, I have thought about changing that out, but honestly, Ash has just been too good to me sometimes, because with what is it? I forget. Just so many different monsters and different things that can basically draw off of just to try and search.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm trying to disrupt that search as much as possible.
I gotcha.
And then we kind of come into the new part that I enjoy. Therion King Regulus. I run 2 copies. I absolutely love this. This has kind of helped me a lot just because of how many lights I have in the graveyard, and I just have sitting there doing nothing. It's great. Honestly, it's so helpful to the deck a little bit, in my opinion. It helps me be able to be like, oh, you want to kind of negate? Well, you don't know I have this, summon it, special summon it.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to negate. It's perfect.
That's really cool, actually.
I love it. I absolutely love this. I think coming back into Yu-Gi-Oh! When I took off for a little bit, I fell in love with just the whole idea of just this searchable engine and everything like that, and how it just works well with machines. So honestly, it's really good. That's it for all the monsters in the main deck.
All right, how many is that? I wonder.
20 exact.
20 exact.
20 exact.
Okay, that's actually really good.
Actually, I honestly thought there was a lot more, so that's actually good. Now we get into the spells.
All right, let's see what you're working with.
Okay, so I run 2 Cyber Repair Plants.
Okay.
You can search these. You can summon core and search up these, and honestly, it's really good because if you've got multiple Cyber Dragons in the graveyard, you can activate both effects, which is 3 Cyber Dragons, add 1 to your hand from the deck, and then if you've got 1 in graveyard, you can put that back in. Sometimes it's good because with Nova and Infinity, you can add them back into the extra deck, and it's really helpful, honestly.
Yeah.
It really kind of is like, oh man, I ran out of a Nova. Oh wait, I can just activate Cyber Repair Plant, put that back in. I still got another Infinity.
And you said that if you have 3 Cyber Dragons or more?
3 or more.
And then you can just do both effects.
Do both effects, which is great.
That's actually really awesome.
If you have 2, you have to kind of decide which one. So it's kind of like it's situational. Okay, which effect is better?
I got
Usually, with me, if I've only got 2 engraved, I'm trying to find that next Cyber Dragon. Because I kind of go into Naster, and then I normal summon it, which gives me my normal summon. If I've got a Cyber Dragon in deck, like a Nova or Infinity, which when they're in graveyard, they are Cyber Dragons.
Yeah.
I can special summon the Nova and immediately go into an Infinity to then eat up my monster, my opponent's monster, which is great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's very helpful. Okay, and then obviously super helpful, Cyber Emergency.
Ah, yes, the Drytron card.
It's not Drytron. I hate people that use it in Drytron because it is a Cyber Dragon deck, but it is very helpful. It searches a light monster. It helps out tremendously with a lot of decks, including Cyber Dragon. It's very helpful for me. And the fact that if it tries to get negated, I can pitch a card and be like, no, it's still going to be.
And the fact that it can actually search a Cyber Dragon monster, not just Cyber Dragon, is actually really cool.
No, honestly, people forget about that it's not just I have to search Cyber Dragon. No, you can literally search up Nova or go into Naster or
because it's one light machine or a Cyber Dragon monster.
Exactly.
Not Cyber Dragon, a Cyber Dragon monster.
Exactly, and it's great. Honestly, it's super helpful, and I enjoy it. Now we get into the other core, ironically, the core starter, Machine Duplication.
Oh, that is actually really awesome.
I love Machine Duplication. The moment I got this, I knew it was just going to be easier to summon Cyber Dragon. Normal summoning core and activating Machine Duplication be able, once Cyber Dragon Core hits the field, basically can special summon 2 Cyber Dragons from deck, and that makes it so much easier to get into Nova, to get into Infinity, to be like, hey, I have that negate or card effect, and you can't target or anything like that, and it's perfect.
That's awesome.
And it helps out a lot. Now we get into what we talked about earlier, Cyber Dark Realm.
Yeah.
Be able to activate it, grab that Cyber Dark monster, be able to normal summon it, and then, get to that power bond to be able to OTK. It's perfect.
That's awesome.
Actually, you did, I think it was a deck profile, or you may have done a battle with Darkron Duelist, aka MJ.
Yeah.
And he's the one that got me on this.
Really?
And yes, honestly, he was like, you need to have this. And I was like, why? He's like, it's so much easier to try to OTK and everything like that. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. And with a couple of test hands, I'm trying with different things, I found out it was really easy to try and OTK, much more simpler. And
he was actually also the one who got me to play 3 Lightning Storms in my Sky Striker.
Exactly. Like, he, honestly, like, if y'all can try to check him out, he's really good with some of the deck profiles. I'm pretty sure if the timing of this is right, you'll see a video of me battling him, and you might even see, like, a battle with, like, Silver. It was a good battle. It was close.
Oh yeah, my match was also really good.
It honestly, like, my match with him and then Silver's match with him are so good. Like, it's very close down to the wire. It's very enjoyable, and it's funny because we have some commentary in
it. For sure.
Okay, and the next one. This one shocks a lot of people. I only run 1 Cyber Ref system.
I think it's fair. It's a searchable Monster Reborn.
It really is, and with later on, I run a Monster Reborn, but like, it's honestly Cyber Rev system. So many people try to run 2, and I'm just like, that's so bricky. I like only seeing 1. Plus, it's searchable off of core.
Exactly. You don't really need more than 1, do you?
No, you really don't, honestly, because like, there's so many ways to be able to like reborn all your monsters and everything like that. Like, honestly, running 1's perfectly fine. If you want to run 2 for security purposes, that's fine. There's nothing against it. 3, that's just a brick.
Oh, for sure.
That's just a brick. I hate to spoil it for you, but like, it's just a brick.
I definitely think that 1 is the right call in this case.
I think it is too. And then with this, I run Cyber Fusion. Cyber Fusion is kind of optional if you want to run it. The reason I run it is I run a trap called Cybernetic Overflow, which we'll see soon. That if you activate Cybernetic Overflow, you can pitch as many Cyber Dragon monsters that have different levels by our Cyber Dragons and banish them. And then what I can do is I can activate this, and I can bring back and put those monsters back in the deck and fusion summon.
That's awesome.
Which is great, which you'll see in some of the fusion monsters. You'll understand why I have this, and it's perfect. No.
I actually really do like this card because it allows you to like recycle kind of what you used and just doesn't it shuffle back into the deck.
And that's the thing with most things that we have to do is there's not a lot of recycling within this deck, and we kind of need to recycle a little bit. So like, it's kind of nice to have it. Okay. Next one. I only run 1 Overload Fusion. Overload Fusion, what it is as you'll see as we get into the other monsters, into the other fusion monsters, there's some dark monsters that we run that call for this card. And honestly, what's good about it is if it's on the field or it's in the graveyard, that we can fusion summon, but we have to banish the monsters. And that's another thing why we use Overload or Cyberload Fusion, is because it's be able to recycle and everything like that.
That makes
Overload
sense.
Fusion, like, you kind of have to be able to run it and be able to either decide whether you want to do the monsters on the field or in the graveyard, which I kind of have a lot since I have 20 monsters. It's able to be able to do that. Then we get into the power, the basically OTK starters. I run 2 power bonds.
Oh, those ultras actually really nice.
I know they're like probably my 2 favorite spells.
And they're both first edition, like Cyber. What is it? Cyber Revolution?
Yeah. Yeah. Ironically, when I first started Yu-Gi-Oh, someone had given me one, and he's like, "Hold on to this," and I was like, "Okay." Never got it. He never wanted it back or anything like that. And then I found another one, so I was like, "Okay, I gotta have it."
Wait a second. So what you're saying is he pulled a Zane Truesdale, handed you a power bond, and said, "Hold on to this for that you'll need it in the future,"
and then disappeared. He doesn't even play anymore, which I think is so ironic. I keep that in this deck for purpose.
Your friend is literally Zane in your stylus.
Basically, yes. Power Bond. If you don't know what it
Cyrus. Did I say Cyrus or Cyrus?
does, you said Cyrus.
Okay, good.
If you don't know what Power Bond does, it's basically like a polymerization. However, what it does is it doubles the attack of the machine monster that is summoned. So basically, if I were to say, and I have it in my extra deck, if I Cyber End Dragon 4,000 attack gets doubled, so then it's 8,000. However, the stipulation of it is, and this is kind of the downside of Power Bond. After the activation effect, at the end phase, you take life point damage equal to the original monster's attack. So if I summon Cyber End Dragon, I'm taking 4,000 straight. So it's almost like a Solomon Judgment that I'm basically.
Oh wow!
Taking. Yeah, it's a totally situational card. If you want to run it, if you want to do an OTK, go for it. If you want to be more conservative, don't run it. Just depends.
I gotcha.
Next, we kind of get into another Therion card. I run the field spot. I only run one though.
Really? Only one copy?
Okay, this one's kind of situational too. I have thought about running two. I feel like it's bricky. Running one, I've got two Therion King Reguluses, as you see in the deck profile. Searchable, you can search King Regulus and other Therion cards. However, I just run Regulus just because
it's the only one you need.
And it basically searches it. And I forget what else it does. It you can send basically it's just like if you send more, or if you need to send the Therion card to be able to like negate a field or anything like that. It's a great card. It's searchable. Basically, what I do is search for Regulus, bring it out on the field. It's just a search target.
I gotcha.
Then we have some like generic staples like Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave is really kind of needed in this format because there's so many different cards and so many different decks, like Splite, for instance, which is like a new deck.
Yeah.
AKA Sprite, as so many people like to call it. It's really good. It's like a level 2 deck. It's really, really situational. And then we have like, ABC decks, like anything that like you see. This is honestly the best card going second. If you can get that in your starting hand and you see it where it could interrupt those decks that like have to have a good hand or have that like one card that's like its backbone, and you just have that in hand, call it out, get it to, if it's in the graveyard, just banish it. It can interrupt and it can disrupt a lot of plays.
I gotcha.
Then obviously it's in the format, Harpy's Feather Duster.
Yep.
Harpy's Feather Duster.
Bye bye Mystic Mine.
Yo, I hate Mystic Mine, especially with my deck because I bring out so many bodies. But it's so good. It's so much needed in the deck. Plus, like ever since it's been off the ban list, it's so you see it either in side decks or you see it in main decks. It's really good. I enjoy it.
All right.
I love this because it's so old. Monster Reborn.
That's first edition. No, that's not first edition.
It's not first
but that's
edition.
Legend of Blue Eyes Magic
Blue.
card.
That's the Magic. I searched for this specific one just because I love it. It has magic on it. I love that it likes spells and everything like that. But the fact that it was originally called a magic card, I love it personally. It's great. And another one, I mean, obviously that I love just because it has magic in it.
Yes.
Came off the ban list. Super important. It's so good, especially in this format with so many different monsters and things of that nature. It's just good to have. Honestly.
I gotcha.
It honestly, you can put in your side, you can put in your main. Just depends on what your preference is.
Yeah.
You run it constantly. All right, that's for the spells. For the 19 spells.
All right.
19 spells. Okay, then we run in the traps. There's not that many traps, honestly. First, we have Cybernetic Overflow. Like I said earlier, banishing those different level Cyber Dragon monsters, getting them in the banish zone to be able to pop like monsters, spells, traps on the field. It's really good. And what's great about this, if this were to get like Cosmic Cyclone, Mystic Space Typhoon, or even Twin Twister, what's great about this is I can add another. Pretty sure it's another cyber spell or trap from there. So like I cannot grab Cybernetic Overflow, which is
okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but like basically it means like, hey, I can grab my other spell card, like my Cyber Rev system, which is like I'm pretty sure it's a Pokemon spell. I have to check for continuity's sake.
Rev system is not.
No, it's not. But Cyber Load Fusion is.
It is.
It is. So I could. So. Overflow, you've got it. You can run that. It'd be great to have. Or, like the fusion spell, having that, being able to quick play real quick and be able to fusion summon my monster, that would help out. And then the last traps, I mean, Imperm.
Yeah, you kind of have to play this in this format right now.
But in any case, it really helps out with a lot of decks. It's kind of still a staple in our meta, honestly.
Yeah,
wouldn't you say? Like even
for sure,
Blight, like and everything like that.
Yeah,
or like
it can hit a lot of things.
Yeah,
right
exactly. That's just the main deck, and that's 5 traps, honestly.
Yeah.
So let's see, 20 monsters, 19 spells, 5 traps.
So you're running a 44 card deck.
44 card deck.
All right.
I mean, you can be interchangeable. You can cut it to 40 if you want. I mean, just depends on you. Now we move to my favorite part, which is the extra deck.
All right, so show us that extra deck.
Okay, so I want to try to get it a little bit. I run 2 Novas, 2 Infinities. Nova and Infinity are very important to the deck. Basically, summon out Nova when you've got 2 lights, and then summon Infinity, be able to eat up the opponent's monsters. If it's an attack position, if it's in defense, obviously you can't do that.
Not to mention that Nova can actually summon back a Cyber Dragon, and doesn't it like in the battle phase you can actually banish one to get an extra, like to increase the attack?
Yeah, sometimes I sometimes overlook that just because like Infinity is more sought after just because it just has that negate. I mean, it's more important. With that, I run 2 of those just because like they get destroyed, I sky back up.
Yeah.
But with those, that's with most of the Cyber Dragons. Then I run Zeus.
Yeah, I don't think we need any explanation for
We don't need an explanation for that,
just
honestly.
white field in the
white field
in phase 2.
I mean, if like Infinity doesn't have enough, and I'm attacking just because I use the negate, stack it on top, basically. Got that.
Yeah.
Negate. Then Hope Harbinger, helps with spells and traps and things of that nature. It's really good. 3,000 attack.
Yeah.
I run this because with Therion's King Regulus's level, it can stack on top, and if I bring out 2, I haven't been able to bring it out just yet, but it's still good.
Yeah, it's a really good card.
That's it for the Xyz monsters. Then we have the links. Then we have Solomon Great Amirage.
Classic. You kind of need it.
Honestly, like if I've got a fusion monster out on the field, and if it's gonna try to be targeted or anything like that, I'm gonna keep it out on the field as long as I can. And then this one's Relinquished Anima. Being able to normal summon out a monster and then being able to link and then take that opponent's monsters, that helped me with one of my games where I think
it's actually so good for going second as well.
Honestly, it really is. Then we have Eager with a link to. Then I have Bull Sword Dragon.
Yes, that's just a game ender right there.
That it really honestly is. It's really good. Changes like defense position monsters into attack, and you can attack multiple times, which is great.
Yeah.
And that's honestly it for the link monsters. And then we get to honestly the end of it, the fusion monsters. Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, which is great for machine monsters. Then
because you can fuse using your opponent's monsters if they're machines.
Obviously, yeah, it's great. And then we have Mega Fleet, for those extra monster zones.
Yeah, that can definitely hurt, especially like Sky Striker.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because they need their monster as well.
Yes, and then we have Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon, which was great about this is it only takes 2 cyber monsters, but the more machines that you add onto it, it can pop as many spells or traps.
All right.
Which is good. And then for as many spells and traps or as many fusion materials as you use on it, it can make that many attacks.
Oh, wow.
Which is great. So like if I have Seeger out on the field and have this, I can attack us multiple times with that added boost, and it's great. Then we have what I personally like to call it, Cyber Twin Dragon, the classic fusion monsters, the boss monsters.
I gotcha.
Another power
attack twice.
And then the boss of it all, Cyber End Dragon.
Ooh, that is beautiful.
I love this art, especially with like the little dark art. It's perfect. It's beautiful. And what's great about it is if power up on, bring that out onto the field, 8,000 attack. Yes, you're going to take 4,000 damage, but honestly, having that piercing, and then if you have Seeger out on the field, like that's just game ending.
Oh yeah, for sure. Since it does do piercing, you have Seeger on the field.
Oh, it's just game.
That is game.
It's game ending.
That's awesome. Well, do you have any shout outs or anything else you want to say?
Honestly, just subscribe to Silver. And then honestly, if we can, if we talk about MJ and anything like that, to get a deck profile about him, go check him out. He's really good. He really helped me out with this deck a lot, being able to build it. And honestly, I didn't get a side deck profile or anything like that, but still, he was very helpful on that. He basically helped me with this deck. So go check him out if you can. it's just great. But other than that, thank you, Silver. I appreciate you looking at my deck.
All right, and then for all those who are watching, be sure to like, comment down, subscribe, and leave a comment on what y'all think of his deck profile. All right, and everyone else, have a good one.